Welcome to Heartland Arms, where skill, safety, and training all come together. I'm Michael, and today we are going to go over the AR platform. Now, you've probably heard in the news, you've probably heard the big one that's called the AR-15. It's mentioned in the news. You've probably seen one on the range. We're going to kind of go over what the AR platform is and what AR really means. Now, we're going to cover why it's so popular, why it's considered such a versatile firearm, and go over its platform. So first, let's get something right out of the way here. The AR in any of the ARs that we're going to mention does not stand for assault rifle. It actually stands for Armalite rifle, and it's named after the company that originally developed, and they had this developed in the 1950s. So this is not a new platform. There's nothing new about this. Okay? Now the AR-15 or the AR platform mostly uses it's a semi-automatic rifle, which means you pull the trigger, it fires once. Okay? So you can't pull the trigger, it's not fully automatic. It is simply a semi-automatic rifle, just like what we covered in all the other semi-automatics that we covered. Now, there is a military version of this. So, and of this, I mean this right here. All right? This is this is an AR-10. So, this is my AR-15. All right? So, the military version is called an M4 and an M16. Now, both of those versions they look very similar. They're a little bit different, but this is the safe. So you have safe, fire, and those versions have a full automatic or a burst option depending on what rifle they're using. Now, an M4 and M16 are not for civilian use. You can get some old M16s, but you have to have a special license for having a fully automatic weapon. A lot of money. If you want to go that route, by all means. AR-15 or the AR variants that are civilians are a different firearm altogether. They are not fully automatic. They're just a semi-automatic rifle. Now, the AR platform is more than just the AR-15. It includes a wide variety of rifles based on the same design, the lightweight and the modular setup for this, and they're very customizable. Okay, and we're going to go to the overhead camera here. So these are two of the AR style. Okay, basic anatomy for this is you have a upper receiver, and I'll show you on this one here. Let's go up here. And it's very hard to see the separation here, but you have the upper receiver, which is going to include your bolt. Let's go to overhead, see if we can do that a little better here. So you have your bolt, you have your barrel. This part is all considered part of the upper. You have the gas system and the bolt carrier group. This right here is the bolt carrier group, right where my hand is here. That's the upper. And then the lower consists of the trigger assembly. It includes the handguard. So you have your handrail, or the trigger, the magazine well, buffer system, and then the stock. So this is right here where it breaks up. Where my hand is the difference between the upper and lower. So basically this top piece can come off and go from there. Now, when you put these two halves, you can separate them. There's a pin that you actually separate them with. And typically you just push out this little pin. It's right here. And then it can break out the top there. So it'll divide into two halves is what it can do. Okay? So most parts are interchangeable. That's why this is such a modular design. But it also uses direct impingement gas operation. So there's a gas system here. And what that basically means is, let's go to the overhead. So this right here is my bolt action. So I pull the bolt back. What's going to happen is when this gets fired, the gas from shooting the bullet, the round down the barrel, some of that gas is used to cycle back this bolt, eject the spent case, and load the next round. That's what it's designed to do. Alright? So, the AR platform is very popular for quite a few reasons, okay? It's very customizable. You can get a lot of features. There's a lot of stuff. So this one, if you notice, I have a different color barrel on this. You can get them in black barrel. The stock is adjustable. when I'm storing it, I put it a little shorter. That's why most of these are short. I haven't fired these. These are, of course, unloaded. I don't even have a magazine out here for them, but the magazines stick out right here. But when I shoot, I like to extend it out. However, if my wife is shooting this one, or if my son was shooting this, they might want to go a little closer, because this is it in. So when it's tucked in, this elbow is a little more bent. But if I stretch it out, see how that arm comes out? That makes it heavier out there. That's why moving it in for maybe a smaller shooter, someone that doesn't have, a whole lot of, they don't lift weights. Holding a fire out like this could be heavy and tiring after a while. So bringing it in a little bit makes it a little easier for them to shoot. That's what I like about the collapsible stock. It's not really meant for making it where it could be hidden. If I want something that I can hide, I grab a handgun. This is not really something that you're going to... That is not enough to make this, I can hide that. Some of the smaller barrels you can get there. So when you go to the overhead, you can see that I have two different barrel sizes on here, right? There you get different barrel sizes. You can get different color combinations. You could get different stock options. You could get bolt carrier. Even this little piece right here, you could get this piece customized on either one. If you notice, I have a black one on this one, and I have a black one on this one. I can get, if I want that to be purple, I could find one in purple. I can get these pretty much in anything I would like, which is why it makes it so modular. These both have, now you could get different stock options here. I like this one because I don't want a whole lot of stuff on this. These are very cut down. You can get one with rails that you could put, different accessories on there. It's really nice. This one has a scope, and then this one has some iron sights that I can actually fold down. So this has fold down sights, and it has a red dot. So when you're looking at that, and if you notice, I have that just kind of off center there. So you could get different attachments. So if I want to still use the sights on this, I could pull this up and I could still use the sights on this. So it's pretty easy to do and pretty nice to pop up here and then move these up or down depending on if I want them. And then if I want to fold them down and I want to switch over, this I think is a 45 degree. So it's just a matter of twisting and then looking down. Again, fingers never on the trigger. That's good habit to always get into. When anytime you're handling a firearm, your go-to position, even when you're just handling it, should always be off the trigger. You should never ever have your finger resting on the trigger. It should always be beside it. So keep that in mind. These are very easy. You can swap out handguards, stocks, optics, triggers, even the calibers. I could switch out this barrel and put on a different barrel for a different, and then they make magazines that convert from down to 22 caliber if I wanted to. They're very lightweight. A lot of them are aluminum or polymer, and they make it very easy to handle. They're very lightweight. They take a lot of weight out, and then depending on your size of your barrel, whether it's a carbine or a full-size revolver, keep that in mind as well. They're very accurate with low recoil. The ergonomic design make it very accessible for shooters of all skill level. That's what makes this a unique firearm. This is something that is very lightweight, easy to use, very versatile. You can use this for, now this is a 308. So this one's a 308. This is actually a hunting rifle, okay? You could use them for sport shooting. You could use them for training, defense. That's what makes the AR platform so unique. So if you want a long range setup, I can get this one and I could get a longer barrel. And I could just pop this one out, swap on a longer barrel, and I can shoot out even further. If I want a close quarters carbine, I can do that. If I want a competition ready firearm, I can do that, where I could get that, that competition ready, rifle to reach out as far as I want. Now, the AR-15 is a 5.56 223. Make sure you're always checking your barrel to find out what you can shoot. Those 2 rounds will chamber, but if your barrel is not compatible with one of those rounds, you can blow up your barrel, damage your firearm, and you can get hurt. So make sure you pay attention to what you're doing. All right. Now, you can also get these in 22. I actually have a couple 22 that I use for plinking. Mossberg made them. They're pretty good. Easy firearm. You get a 300 blackout. You get a 6.5 Grendel or 308 Winchester. This is the AR-15. Or, I'm sorry, this is the AR-10. This one is the AR-15. And all that means is AR-15s will generally shoot a 223, and AR-10s shoot a 308. However, you can get these in 9mm, various pistol. That's what makes these so unique. So maybe I'd like a carbine, and I want a 45 because I have a 45 handgun. Well, I could easily get something that will match out with, so I don't have to worry about different kind of ammo. Kind of makes it easier, and that's why these are the adaptability for these is kind of a major reason why this platform, the AR platform, is so valued in civilian professional settings. Everybody likes them, and I hate to say it, but including the bad guys. And people will tell you, well, we don't want these in the bad guys' hands. You're right. A lot of people say, well, they're too easy to shoot. And, well, if my wife is home defending herself or my son's home defending himself, I don't want something complex. I want something that they could shoot, and I want to give them every advantage that they can get if they find themselves in a life or death situation. So if you're looking for something that's going to be reliable, easy to maintain, very versatile, the AR platform is definitely worth your consideration. It's ideal for defense, for range training, shooting competitions, sport shooting, and yes, you can even hunt with this. The AR-15 is a good varmint round, and this is a 308, which is great for hunting deer. So I would say before you classify this as the evil rifle, maybe understanding it a little bit better will help you understand that it's a really good type of firearm to use, very easy, and it's a great modern firearm. So make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on all our podcast channels. The more love we get, the more stuff we can get out there for you. We're on all social media, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we're also on X, formerly Twitter. I would just caution before you label something like this, scary, understanding it, it's not really that scary. It's really easy to use, and it's a very versatile platform to use. So hope you at least consider it as a possible choice for you. Now, no matter your experience, make sure you always are going to keep learning, staying safe, and be ready. Thanks for joining us on Heartland Arms. We'll catch you on the next episode.